All right, Michael Spinks says Mike Tyson was on steroids. I'm using allegedly when they fought each other. So thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Now, famously, for people who remember this fight back in the day, this is the fight that Mike Tyson became world champion. Now, Michael Spinks, we had Kevin Cunningham come on here a few years ago now, and he agreed with me that the Spinks family is the greatest. They are the greatest boxing family. I mean, Corey Spinks, Michael Spinks, Leon Spinks. I think he was beat Muhammad Ali and was world champion. 5-0, gold medalist. So yeah, it was a very historic family. All right. Michael Spinks is considered, in my opinion, this is CJ's opinion, one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time. Two of my favorites is Michael Spinks, Roy Jones Jr., and Michael Moore. Just some few of my favorite light heavyweights. And here's the whole thing with Michael Spinks was this. This is, he was a great light heavyweight, but the thing was with him, a lot of people didn't really like how it went down with Larry Holmes. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot, but some people don't like how it went down with Larry Holmes. Okay. And what happened with Larry Holmes? Was, Larry Holmes made a particular comment. He made a particular comment about Rocky Marciano. He's about to break Marciano record, and he basically said Marciano couldn't carry his jockstrap. He was ass. So a lot of people feel like they robbed Larry Holmes versus Michael Spinks. Fast forward, he became world champion off of that, and he fought Mike Tyson. Now, one of the things about this particular fight was he was crying in the dressing room before fighting Mike Tyson. Like, this motherfucker was crying. Now, you got to ask him about that. He was crying in the dressing room. I know a lot of people remember that shit. He was crying in the dressing room, and that was a big thing back in the day. And, he went out there, and it looked like he laid down. He was scared of Mike Tyson at the time. This motherfucking Mike Tyson, It was Mike, this prime, fighting every other week. But Michael Spinks said Tyson was on steroids when they fought. So he said, Spinks said he didn't throw the fight, but he gave a quick shocking statement regarding Mike Tyson. Now we'll read this whole thing. It really is so unfair that the great Michael Spinks, who conquered the world at both light heavyweight and heavyweight, gave the world some truly special ring performances courtesy of his jinx, is best remembered for his swift KO loss to Mike Tyson. It was at the time one of the biggest, most money-spending fights in heavyweight history, and some good judges felt Spinks would be able to befuddle Tyson, either defeat him or at least push him hard. Instead, in giving us arguably the most famous 91 seconds in boxing history, Tyson wiped Spinks out with apparent ease. Some say Spinks was scared, and motherfuckers was crying in the locker room. Others say Spinks threw the fight. The second claim seems pretty out there, but Spinks, in a recent interview with Vlad TV, was asked about what he felt regards that some people say he did indeed throw the fight, and that took place in June 1988. He said Spinks said he didn't throw the fight, but he gave a quick shocking statement regarding Tyson all the same. My thing is here, I hate to see black people go on a mixed company podcast, a non-black podcast, and talk about another brother. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, man. I in my opinion, I really hate it. But like I said, ain't no unity in the community. Bars. But I've been saying that. But he said, no, I didn't throw the fight. Spinks said he hit me. He laughed. Tyson was on steroids, so I knew I had my hands full. So that's how I went in. I went in knowing he was on steroids and I could possibly lose the fight. I didn't think about losing. I thought about what I could do to win. So, he said, I don't know about you, but I haven't heard the claims that Tyson, then at the blending peak, was supposedly on steroids at the time, will possibly rank as one of the greatest wins. And said it's an interesting subject, maybe one that hasn't been fully covered. Spinks, as we know, retired after the Tyson fight, never boxed again. Spinks said in a Vlad TV interview that he had terrible swelling, terrible swallowing Oh, swallowing. Excuse me. He was terrible time swallowing the fact that I lost to Tyson. He said, I said to myself, if I ever lose a fight, I'll retire. Spinks said that's how I went. And Spinks never was tempted enough to come back. Interestingly, Spinks also says he doesn't think at all that a rematch with Tyson would have gone any other way. I don't think so. Spinks said if a rematch with Tyson would have been any different. He hit pretty hard, and that would have had an effect on me. So most fans will likely agree that Tyson would have beaten Spinks. Yeah, we know. So him saying, I have really never heard that. I've heard that, people, said he threw the fight. You hear that, or he was scared and he was crying in the fucking locker room. But people be like, oh, he was crying because they wanted him to throw the fight. Or people will say he was crying because he was scared. You know what I'm saying? But I've never really thought about the claim of Mike Tyson being on steroids. And, if he was on steroids, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, but Tyson, the reason why people say, Tyson wasn't on steroids is because we always seen Mike Tyson look like that for his entire career. That's why we seen him look like that his entire career. That was his build. That was his build. His entire career, Mike Tyson was a kid that was built like that. So I don't think anybody really questioned it. Now, if this salty grapes, there's some people behind the scenes that, claim that Roy was on that shit. I ain't gonna say his name. He put a real interview out there with a channel. When I say this, it no longer exists. And he, asked him to take the interview down, and he did. He made some claims about Roy Jones Jr. I'm not saying they true or false. I'm just saying a particular trainer, former fighter, made some claims. And you hear these things from behind the scenes. So, I mean, is it out the realm of possibility? No. I mean, he's saying this shit 10, 20, 30, 30 something years later. He's saying this 30 something years later. So, I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. But I wouldn't have been. I'd never heard him make that claim before. But then again, a lot of people will turn around and say steroids don't matter. Remember that? Steroids don't matter. It's about skill. You hear people say that. Okay. But when it comes to them being in a situation with performance enhancing drugs, is different though. It's hella different. Right? It's hella different. Well, you ain't taking no testing, man. This ain't no fear. It's hella different. When it's your ass on the line, you know what I'm saying? Niggas got a whole, oh man, he cheated. And it was like, nah. It's so many bitter fighters, man, just in general. A lot of these fighters is bitter. They're bitter. And I ain't saying that about Spinks. They'll tell you that Roy's don't matter and this don't matter. But when it come to you, I just want an even playing field. And I just want this and I just want that. And I just want to be. And now you want to be equal, my nigga. The game is funny, bro. The game is just truly a funny game. But, like I said before, he making claims. Can he prove it? And 30 some years later, I guarantee you he can't prove that Mike was on that shit. Guarantee you he can't prove it. And if he can, he would have proved it. What's the point of protecting him? Now, if he's trying to protect his ego, because you got to understand the narrative was that he was scared. Crying locker room. He was scared or he was throwing a fight. He just laid down too, dude. He just laid down. He just laid down. That motherfucker just laid down. That was a sad thing about it. He just laid down. So that made people think, well, maybe the fight was fixed. You know what I'm saying? That made people think, maybe he was, you know, he was just scared. But nobody talked about possibly Mike being on that shit. But hey, let me know what y'all girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live or drop video. Financially, want to support the channel. Cash App, $ CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link in description. Hit the link tree. Join the Patreon. Check out the Boxing News playlist. Heavyweight Boxing Talk playlist. Peace.